Hello students, we will continue with the topic of heat treatment of steels. So far we have discussed in detail the phase transformation in consideration with the time temperature transformation diagram and continuous cooling transformation diagram. We discussed various microstructures which formed as a result of different heat treatment processes. The heat treatment processes discussed are annealing, normalizing, tempering and quenching. Today we will discuss another important topic of residual stresses and quench cracks. We will discuss how these residual stresses and quench cracks happens. To discuss that, let's consider the time temperature transformation diagram. Just a review of that. This is the eutectile temperature. These curves are showing the start of the phase transformation. This curves, green curve shows the start of the transformation, and this is the finish or end of the transformation. And in these curves, this is the nose formation, and the temperature of nose is termed as the Tn temperature, that is 550 degrees Celsius temperature. Here we have the stable phase of austenite. Here we have unstable phase of austenite. Here we have austenite plus perlite, and here we have the perlite. Again, here we have the austenite plus bainite, and here after passing this finish curve we have the bainite as discussed earlier. If we consider the transformation of martensite, now this is the start of the temperature of martensite, and this is the finish of martensite. And let's see if we have a transformation for large size component, the transformation into martensite, and we know this transformation is as a result of quenching. Now what is happening once we consider a large side object? Now the outer layer, outer surface is transformed first. Now this is transformed into martensite. Still the inner, if I show this, let's say this is the austenite, the outer surface that is transformed earlier than the inside. And if I draw the quenching curve, let's say I draw this curve that is for the transformation of austenite to martensite for the inner, that is this, another curve that represents the transformation of austenite to martensite for the case of surface layer. Now if we see here, once the surface that starts to transform from this austenite to martensite, still inside is warm and it is in the form of austenite. So here the red curve shows the cooling of the inside, and the purple curve that is showing the surface transformation that is happening at much faster rate as compared to the inside. Now we see once surface cooling curves causes the martensite start temperature. At that temperature the inside is still warm. This means that the surface has transformed to martensite but inside is still austenite. Gradually, once the cooling continues, the inside will also transform to martensite. But there is a problem with this kind of transformation, and to consider that problem, we will just consider the volume increase because of this transformation. So volume change during austenite to martensite transformation. And for that we will consider the microstructure of both the austenite and the martensite. The austenite is in the form of cubic closed pack, whereas the martensite is body centered tetragonal. We also know that the cube centered cube closed pack is denser than the body centered tetragonal. So with respect to the density, we can say the density of austenite is more the density of martensite, and considering with respect to the volume, the volume of austenite is less with respect to the volume of martensite, which means once the transformation takes place from austenite to martensite, there will be increase in the volume, and this increase in volume will cause the problem for the case of large size component. We know that initially the outer shell or the outer layer that is transformed to martensite. This is the outer layer or shell, whereas still inside is austenite. We know that the inside tends to transform to martensite, and that is associated with the volume increase that resisted by the already formed outside layer of this martensite. And this we know that this martensite is very hard and brittle. So when the inner when the inner part tends to transform to martensite, the associated volume expansion is resisted by the already transformed layer of martensite on the outer surface. As a result, this leads to the formation of stresses, compressive stresses, which are acting inside, and the tensile stresses which will be acting outside. And these stresses are termed as residual stresses. Now in general these tensile stresses are very dangerous, which causes the quench cracks. So we can say the tensile stresses or formation of tensile stresses in the surface martensite can lead to cracks known as or called quench cracks. Now these cracks are not good from engineering point of view and needs to be avoided. Further, to avoid the residual stresses or quench cracks, one of the way is to perform heat treatment known as mar quenching or mar tempering. As we have seen, the residual stresses produced as the component size is large and the inside austenite is still warm, but the outside surface austenite is cooled and transformed to martensite, as shown by these two curves. Here this purple shows the outside temperature and that is cooled down to the complete transformation of the martensite. At this temperature, still the inside component is austenite. Now here this purple is showing the outer layer of the austenite that is transformed to martensite, whereas this red curve that shows the inside cooling of the austenite that is has still to transform to martensite. And all this is happening because the entire component is not transforming to martensite at the same time. The outer layer or shell, this outer layer or shell transforms first and then subsequently the inside is transformed to martensite. If by some way we equalize the inside and the surface temperature, then this problem could be resolved. Now coming back to again the TTT diagram, the same TTT diagram, and we have two quenched curves like this and another curve that is showing the cooling rate, the fast cooling rate of the surface. Still we have a stable phase of austenite here. This is the eutectile temperature, this is the nose temperature, and here we have the austenite plus perlite, we have the perlite, here we have the austenite plus bainite. This is the start of the martensite temperature and this is finish of the martensite temperature. Now what is happening here? Now instead of further cooling of the temperature of austenite to transform into the martensite, if we hold this temperature here instead of lowering this temperature to further crosses the start of the martensite, and we kept holding this temperature, and same for the case of outer layer of the component that is again held at same very temperature and kept it holding for some time. Now this temperature we say this is the quench temperature. Where we hold the temperature for further cooling. So we find that above the start of the martensite, let the temperature lag, time lag is there for unstable austenite which has to be transformed to bainite, and before that transforming you further cool the austenite, let it transform to martensite. So this time can be used to equalize the inside and the outside temperature of the component, and this is the idea behind that is the result of Mark quenching or Mark tempering. And if we consider the inside outside cooling curves and inside cooling beyond the start of the martensite, we interrupt the cooling before the start of the martensite. So we can say this interrupted quench is called the Mark quenching. And this, instead of calling it Mark tempering, it is better to say call this Mark quenching, because it is closer to, because the same phenomena we are actually quenching, and further quenching beyond the start of the martensite there is an interruption, and this interrupted quenching is called as the Mark quenching. And once the temperature is held at this level for a certain period of time, after that again further cooling is performed to transform it to martensite. So the problem of residual stresses and the quench cracks, that is removed by this heat treatment process known as Mark quenching. So far we have considered the time temperature transformation diagram for the case of eutectide steels. Now let us see how the time temperature transformation diagram will vary for the case of hypoeutectide steel and hypereutectide steels. Now recall the phase diagram of iron carbon or steel phase diagram, where the carbon composition is 0.8 weight% of carbon. This is what we have discussed so far. Whereas any alloy composition less than 0.8 weight percentage of carbon is called the hypoeutectide steel. Now let us consider this composition which is less than 0.8 weight% of carbon. For this composition, the equilibrium transformation happens at eutectide temperature Te. Now it may be represented with this eutectide temperature as A1, and where the gamma start transforming to alpha. Now this is represented with temperature of A3. As we cool along vertical line, at this temperature alpha starts precipitating from gamma. As we see, here are the two critical temperatures, A1 and the A3 temperature for this alloy. These temperatures are also reflected in the TTT diagram. So here we have, this is the phase diagram, and correspondingly we have the time temperature transformation diagram. We draw horizontal lines corresponding to the critical temperatures. This is A1 and A3. Similarly, at lower level, we draw the lines for the case of start of Martensite and finish of Martensite. Then we have two corresponding transformation C curves, just like for the eutectide steels. And behind these curves we have the alpha plus Fe3C. However, above the nose is we have perlite, and below the nose we have the bainite. And similarly, between the start and finish of these curves, these C curves, we have alpha plus perlite above the nose, and we have alpha plus bainite below the nose. Now considering the phase diagram, the stable phase of stable phase of gamma is above this A3 temperature, and below the A3 we have unstable phase of alpha. However, we see the independent ferrite starts forming below the temperature of this A3 for the case of hypoeutectide steels. So between A3 and A1, a corresponding line in TTT diagram is required to represent this transformation. So this line will start from the nose of the start of this perlite and go to the A3 temperature. So this is alpha start for hypoeutectide steel. In between we have the gamma plus alpha, and the proeutectide alpha will continue here also alpha, and finally we will have this perlite plus alpha. So when we quench and hold the temperature above the nose, we get this perlite plus alpha, and once we quench and hold the temperature below the nose, we get this bainite plus alpha. Now we will see exactly the similar situation for the case of hypereutectide steel. Here again we have, this is the phase diagram for hypereutectide, and correspondingly we have the time temperature transformation diagram for hypereutectide steels. Now here if we see this vertical line, now here we have the composition which is greater than, the composition is greater than 0.8 weight percent of carbon, or we may write this is greater than Ce eutectide composition. This is the eutectide composition. Now vertical line shows the composition which is right side of the eutectide composition. Here the boundary between gamma and this gamma plus cementide Fe3C is represented by ACM cementide, and this is, we have the same as A1 temperature, the eutectide temperature. These two temperatures are also shown on the TTT diagram with corresponding lines, as this is A1 and this is ACM. Also we have the horizontal lines for the case of Martensite start and Martensite finish. Similarly, we have two curves for the start of the gamma plus perlite, gamma plus bainite, and this is the region that is we are having alpha plus Fe3C. So again we will have the stable phase which is above this ACM temperature for gamma, and below this we have unstable gamma phase. Now again we have to extend this line from the nose to ACM, and here we are going to get gamma plus Fe3C, and similarly in between we are going to have this Fe3C, and at the end we would be having the perlite plus Fe3C above the nose of the C curve, and below the nose of the C curve we would be having bainite plus cementide Fe3C. This is how the time temperature transformation diagram changes for the case of hypoeutectide and hypereutectide steels.